All right. Great afternoon. Great afternoon. Great morning. Great evening, wherever you are watching us from, depending on the time of your day. We're so excited to be back in front of you on another episode of Books, Business, and Brunch. My name is Joan T. Randall. I am the founder and publisher of Victorious You Press and the creator of the Books to Business model. And I am here today with my co-host, Leslie, who we are going to turn it over to her and let her give you a little bit about herself, talk to you about a little bit about herself. If you're joining us for the first time you're seeing us, I want to introduce myself. As I said before, I'm the publisher and founder of Victorious You Press, and we help entrepreneurs and destiny helpers to write and publish their best-selling books so that they can monetize their impact, create influence, and create legacies in their lives. We love what we do. We love the written word. We love the literary world. But not only that, we are big proponents of helping you to leverage your book to create multiple streams of income. A book is not just a book, right? A book is the gateway, the stairways, the climb, the first rung on the ladder to a business, a mission, or a ministry. So long gone are the days where you have a book on Amazon and it just sits there for years and you do nothing with it. That is an opportunity for you to build on top of the book. And so without further ado, or me saying anything else about myself, I'm going to turn it over to my co-host, Leslie.
Hello. Yes, I am Leslie Cottrell, and I am the Chief Operating Officer at Victorious You Press. Very honored to hold that position there. And I'm also an author coach. So I work with authors in the creation, the planning, the stage where you're trying to figure out how to put it all together, and then getting that book in order and getting it ready to go to an editor. It's a really important step that's often overlooked, and I'm really happy to fulfill that position along with working in operations with Victorious You Press. And today we wanted to talk to you about something that's really, really close to our hearts because it has been a journey for us. It has been something that has helped us, aided us, strengthened us, and that is writing for transformation, writing for growth. And so many of our authors come to us with that in their heart. They want to write about how their lives were transformed. And often we think of that sort of in the past tense, but we want to invite you to think about it a little bit differently today and to think about the importance of writing while you're in the thick of things. It can be a challenging thing to do. I can't even think straight. I'll write about it later. I'll come back to it when I'm stronger. And those are valid thoughts. But I'll tell you, Joan's got an amazing story to share with you today about one particular thing that happened in her life and how writing about it really helped make that a situation that was an area of growth in her life. And a number of years ago in 2016, I was really ill with Lyme disease and 2 co-infections of Lyme disease. And then I also experienced Bell's palsy as another complication of the Lyme disease. And my brain wasn't working right, as is often the case with people with Lyme. But I tried to make a point of documenting what was going on. Now, was it publish worthy? No, absolutely not. But taking the time to note where I was, note what was going on, helped me look back on it later and see just how far I had come, which was an incredible, amazing, faith building exercise. So I encourage you to think about writing for transformation a little bit differently. You're not writing a manuscript necessarily. You can write bullet points about what you're going through, just making some areas to go back and revisit later on. You can document and write about your growth opportunities through a gratitude journal. Boy, that is one of the most amazing things to go back and read. Now, you might think that's a weird time to be grateful. It's the best time to be grateful. When you are in the thick of trauma and drama and illness, that is one of the most potent tools. I was going to say potential. All right, tools for potential and
Yeah.
potent tools for getting better, for getting stronger, for rising out of your illness. And there may be days I like to invite people to do 3 things that they're grateful for every day. And it may be I woke up, I can breathe, I ate a piece of toast. Those are still 3 things to be grateful for. As time goes on, that'll start to grow and shift. But as you go back at a certain stage after this time in your life, this period of challenge, and read what you wrote, even if it's just your gratitude journal, and I don't mean just,
Yeah.
even if it is the bullet points, that will be a catalyst for deeper writing down the road. One of the things that we challenge our authors to do is to write down chronologically items from different periods in their life. And
Yeah.
all you need to do is write one sentence. That one sentence, you don't have to write the whole event out. The one sentence will jar your memory and get those juices flowing. So it doesn't have to be long and involved and another tiring, exhausting item that you have to check off your list every day. It can become a moving, breathing, vibrant part of your journey. And later on, it will amaze you and bless you when you go back and read it. And Joan, what would you like to add to that?
Yes, I love it. Love all of this. First of all, let me just say welcome to those of you that are watching. I see my friend from Jamaica, Carlene, who has an incredible story that I cannot wait for her to write and publish that
Mm.
story. So, welcome, Carlene. I see my apostle, Juanita Corey Jackson. Thank you for joining us. I see Carol Hibbert. Carrie is watching. Thank you for watching. And Doreen Candy, all the way from Kenya, is watching. Thank you guys for joining us today and watching this broadcast. Before I answer Leslie's question, I want to let you know that we have a contest that is going on from now until the end of this month. We will be giving away 3 of my award-winning best-selling book, Bags in the Attic, to 3 lucky women. So stay tuned to the end because we're going to share with you how you can win a copy of that book. That's going to be autographed to you, but also we have some other fun things that we're giving away in with the book as well. All right. So stay tuned to hear how you can win a copy of that book. But now to get to Leslie's question about writing for personal growth and transformation, I was thinking to myself yesterday, I have written 13 books in total, and I've collaborated with other people in, in writing a chapter in their book. So I have written 13 books, and I sat and I thought about it, and I'm like, how did you get there? How did you go from a woman that was abused and broken and, homeless at one point and doing all the things that you're doing, write 13 books? Let me just say this to you. The minute you write a book, there is something that stirs inside of you where you want to write more, right? And then now that I'm on this side in this world, it's easy for me to do. But I want to just share with you, when we talk about writing for personal growth and transformation, writing creates an indelible moment in time that can never be erased. I say that all the time. It's this quote that I made up. But even if you go back into the scriptures, for those of you that are kingdom builders, that are Christians, that are women of faith and belief, there are so many places in the Bible where God literally made it a command for you to write. Because one of the things about writing is that it keeps a record of what you have experienced. And at this point, we're not talking about the publishing world. I'm just talking about writing in your journal, in your book, whatever. And don't just write on pieces of paper, because you'll lose those pieces of paper, right? Unless you staple them together and put them in a folder, you can, right? But just think about a journal on your nightstand, or as you're cooking or doing, or if you're doing the laundry and you have a moment in the day and you want to just write something down that happens, a memory that you smell something and then there was this memory that it trigger, but write it. And so this is what allowed me to write, because I'm always to write books, because I'm always writing a record of what happened. And let me share with you how this incredible memory came to me on Saturday. I got in my car to leave to go somewhere, and I was just overcome with emotion of God's goodness, right? And how where God had brought me from. And I remember this one time because I had written it, where my car was repossessed. I posted it on Reels recently. So if you go back on Instagram and you visit and you look at my Reels, you will see where I showed that. I showed a couple of pictures on that Reels. But I remember after I left Florida and relocated to Virginia, the Washington, D.C. area, things were not 100% right. I was still kind of trying to make ends meet, and so I knew I didn't pay my car payment. So there were two missed car payments that I knew I needed to pay, right? But there were a lot of things in my mind that I was thinking of. The rent was more important, and food for my children and myself were more important than the car payment. And here's another thing. I had just moved from Florida about 2 or 3 months ago. So I'm not thinking that the car dealership in Florida would find me in Washington, D.C., right? But they most certainly did. And so this one day I got dressed for work, came out to the parking lot where I know I parked my car, and the car wasn't there. Car was gone. And I'm like, oh my God, my car was stolen. Right. And so, you get that, like, your heart sinks all the way down to your knees, and you start trembling, and your head is beating, it's palpitating, and your hands start sweating, and you don't know what is going to happen. And you're freaking out because the car that I'm supposed to drive to go to work so that I can make some more money is gone. And the only reason why I knew it was gone, because I was getting ready to call 911 to let them know they stole my car. And there were so many things in the trunk of the car, because I had not yet taken everything out of the car since we came from Florida, right? And I'm standing there shocked and like, oh my God, my car is stolen. And it wasn't until a tenant that lived in the same apartment building walked up to me and said, hey, if you're looking for your car, I just want you to know a towing truck took it like late last night, early this morning. They repoed my car. Right? And I would have not known that my car was repossessed unless the guy told me. Can you imagine the embarrassment? The embarrassment, first of all, to know that they came in the middle of the night and stole my car, right? And here I am in Washington, D.C., had purchased the car in Florida, and they found me. They found me and took the car, right? But there were so many lessons I learned from that. First of all, you can't hide from the repo guy, no matter where you are in the country. You can't hide from them. That's the first thing. And the second thing, it also gave me an understanding of balance. I needed to balance myself more in my finances, right? Number three, I could have called and let them know that I relocated and I'm having a difficult time paying all of the things. And if they could give me like a payment plan or some kind of thing, right? That created a transformation in me because that lesson taught me that there are ways to do things without having to hide it, right? And cover up the things, right? And so I learned a lot of lesson from that incident, but I also learned the power of stewardship, right? And having a car or having the things that are necessary, right? A car is necessary if you have to go back and forth from work. And so stewarding the things that God blesses you with, right? So that these things doesn't happen, and if they do happen, how to navigate around it. Now here's the thing, I probably would not have remembered the whole scenario had I not written in my journal about this experience, right? And so that is the thing about writing is so cathartic that in the moment it helps you relieve what is going on. It takes away the weight of your chest because it was so difficult for me. I felt like I was going to have a heart attack. I could not breathe. Like I was having a difficult time. I was hyperventilating because the mode of transportation that I needed to fulfill a job is gone, right? And so we wanted to share that with you about how writing can be cathartic, how writing can it allows you to go back and look at the experience that you have had, right? Now, if I didn't write it, I don't know if I would remember it. This happened so long ago. I don't know if I would have remembered it. Maybe I would because it's so profound in my mind, right? That I would have remembered it. But writing allows you to go back and then look at how far you have come. I wrote a book, my best-selling book that I'm giving away as a free gift, right? I look at that book, Bags in the Attic. The incident, the things that happened in my life when I was going through my domestic violence, I would not have remembered half of it had I not written it in a diary or a notebook or a journal. I called it my diary at the time. I would have not remembered it. Truth be told, the day when I sat down to write my story, Bags in the Attic, I had notes all over the place, but I had them, right? The day when I sat down to write that book, when I read through my diary, I thought I was reading about the life of somebody else. Leslie, I could not believe that it was me. I'm like, there's no way this happened. There's no way this happened. But had I not written it, there were sections of my life during abuse that I had blocked.
That's it.
That was the book, Leslie, that reminded me of the things. And there were things in life that I did not write because it was so traumatic. And I remember my sister telling me something that happened while I was with my first husband. And to this moment, I cannot recall it.
Mm-hmm.
But she was there and she saw it. And till this day, I cannot recall that. because it wasn't written in the book. And so it goes back to the power of writing. I'm going to see here what Rachel say. Hey, Rachel. Hey, Gloria Rayner. Hey, Elder Oxendine. Nice to see you. Rachel says, I know what it feels like to have a car repossessed. In my 20s, that was me. Been all the way to the bottom and back. Makes it much easier to have gratitude. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because this is what happens. And again, it just goes back to writing. There's so much that happens when you write. um you create this roadmap of your journey, right? You create this roadmap of your journey from years ago, and at some point you really need to turn it into a book. Why? Because what happens to you has happened to others and is happening to others.
Yeah.
And that book of how you have gone through those things and overcame is what will impact and give the person that is going through it now the breakthrough. And a lot of times we don't want to share a story because it's a little embarrassing, right? But when you're on the other side of that story, there's no shame in it. There's none, because you overcame, right? You were resilient, you persevered, you got through it. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. And you're not the only person that something like that has happened to. So sharing the story just helps others.
Mhm.
So that's that with that conversation. Anything you want to add to that, Leslie?
We absolutely block things out.
Mhm.
Our subconscious is trying to protect us at all costs, and it literally does block things out. Now, sometimes immediately, as soon as it happens, it can be gone. And as
Yeah.
you were talking, I remembered a period in my life that was a really tough go. I felt like I was living in triage every
Mhm.
day in, day out. And a customer in the restaurant that my ex husband's family owned and that I lived and breathed um, made a comment to me early one morning and said, looked me right in the eye, and he said, "How are you doing today?" I said, "I'm good, I'm good." And he goes, "So you're all right after last night?" And I was like, "Yep." Well, I don't, to this day, I have no idea what happened, but he witnessed something that was,
Wow.
an everyday occurrence in my life. And it was disturbing enough to him that he was concerned about how I would have navigated it and wanted to inquire. And I literally had no idea what he was talking about. By the next day, it was gone and it's never come back. I have no idea what he was talking about. So the recording in time can
Yeah.
be very difficult, but the recording in time will serve you well. Again, down the road as you look back, not only in your healing, but as you are trying to assist others in their healing.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. So that's the power of writing. It helps you personally. It helps you to grow. It gives you, the opportunity to transform. Because looking back at when they repossessed my car, and this happened in probably 1999. Yeah, it was 1999. Yeah, that's exactly when it happened, 1999, right? And so I ended up a friend coming and helping me, and the rest is history. But this happened in 1999, so it's that long ago, right? But to be able to go back in my journal and look at the transformation and look at the growth and look at where I am today and how many cars I've had since then. It has never happened to me again because I learned my lesson. And when you learn your lesson, you grow from that lesson, right? That's growth. And when you transform, it means that you change the way you behave. You change what you have done. You use it as a guide to not make sure that that doesn't happen again. So writing is really key in our everyday lives. It's amazing, right? And again, I go back to the Bible. The Holy Spirit tells us, Write the vision. Hey, Lynn, it's so nice to see you. Write the vision, make it plain. Write it down so the next generation will see it. Write it so others will know what I brought you out of.
Mm.
It is good to write it. When the children of Israel, went across to to Canaan, to the promised land, the Holy Spirit told them, for every tribe, go take a stone, right, and put it here as a reminder of what I have brought you through. Write it, put it down, make a record of it so that your next generation will know how I've blessed you. So it's good to write. So I don't know if Carlene is still here, but I'm speaking to you, Carlene. Okay, I'm speaking. All right, we've got 5 more minutes, and we want to we'll want to give you the criteria of the giveaway, and this does not stop here, right? So here are the criteria. Number 1, I want you to like this video, right? Like it. You don't have to write a comment or anything. Just like the videos. Oh, there she is. She said, I'm still here. I'm still here. You have about 3 books or 4 books. That's just the magnitude of this young lady's story. And her story is still being written, because when I look at her children, oh my God, it's just incredible. The world is waiting, Carlene, on your book. And here we have Leslie. Leslie can help you write it. She's an author coach, so you don't have to sit there and try to figure it all out yourself, okay? So number 1, like this video. So if you're watching on my Facebook page, if you're watching in the Books to Business and Beyond group, or if you're watching on YouTube, wherever you are watching from, like it and share it, right? So that's criteria number 1, like and share. Number 2, if you're watching me in the group, Books to Business and Beyond, I want you to invite someone to join the group. Or if you're watching from YouTube, we want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's it. That's how simple it is. Like and share, and invite someone into the Books to Business group if you're watching from the group. And if you're watching from YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll have Amanda, who is our social media person, record starting today. All who like the video, all who shared it, and who subscribed or invite someone to the Books to Business and Beyond group. And then from the number of people that execute that criteria, we will choose 3 women to autograph and send a copy of Bags in the Attic. And I don't know if I'm sure, maybe you don't, but I just won the Gold Award for the 2024 International Spring Book Fest Award. We won number 1 and the Gold Award for the category of Memoir Transformation. I didn't even realize we won for transformation. Right? So how amazing is that? It never even dawned until God just put it together just now. But we won. So if you would like an autographed copy of that book, we have that for you. Would love for you to make sure you get the criteria. We're going to say it again. Depending on where you're watching from, like the video, share the video. If you're watching in the group, invite someone to the group. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will pull from those people, and you may be the lucky winner of an autographed copy of Bags in the Attic and some other goodies that we'll throw in to when we ship this book to you.
And when is the drawing, Joan?
It is on the last day of May 31st. May 31st is when we will announce who is the winner. So, hey, Santos, watching us from India. It is nice to see you. Blessings to you and your family, sir. Thank you for joining. And Miss Lynn says, congratulations, The Bags in the Attic is one of the most impactful stories I've ever read. Thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Lynn. I appreciate that. Also, we got a chance to pitch the book as a test run in IBPA, but I also just got an opportunity to pitch it to someone who lives in Atlanta who is a producer. So you never know. This
Yay.
may just become a movie, and at that time, you're not going to be able to afford the book. I'm just kidding. Kidding. I'm just.
Hmm.
Hey, Carleen, it is nice to see you. Watching from Trinidad. Trinidad is in the house. Thank you for joining, sister. Hey, Mr. DJ Ambition, be rolling. I miss you, but it's so nice to see you. All right, my apostle said, right? Yeah, listen, if this become a movie, you're not going to be able to afford this book, okay? So, all things in time, all things in God's hands. So we're just going to leave it there. All right, it's 1:00. We have come to the end of our show. We want to, anything else to say before we go, Leslie?
No, I don't think so. But I'm excited that you got an opportunity to pitch the book. That's very cool.
Yeah, that's cool. And now because I learned how to pitch, right?
Great. Now you're ready.
From the Hollywood guy, I
Yeah.
am ready to pitch
That's
it to this
awesome.
local person that is right here in Atlanta. So exciting things to come.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's it for our broadcast today. Thank you for joining. Stay tuned to our page or group or page or LinkedIn or just all the things. There's so many things that we have coming up for you that is going to really help you. So more things to come next week. We're going to be talking about collaboration with other authors for mutual success. And we have a surprise to talk about next week. So stay tuned. We're doing a lot of fun things. All right. Well, God bless you. That is it. And remember, the pen creates an indelible moment in time that can never be erased. So keep writing. God bless you. And we will see you all next week. Same time, same place.
Bye.
All right. Bye, guys.